Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Nigel, and I'm an event facilitator here at McNally Robinson. On behalf of the store, I'd first like to thank you all for joining us here this afternoon for the launch of Be Yourself by Jackie Swirsky. This book, written by Jackie Swirsky and illustrated by her 7-year-old gender-creative son Jacob Swirsky and sister-in-law Jaimee Appel, features a gender-creative child as the main character and teaches the message of acceptance. It is intended to empower children to be proud of themselves just as they are and be accepting of all people, no matter their style. Jackie has a master's degree in speech-language pathology from the University of Alberta. She and her husband, Matt, are raising their 2 children, Jacob and Zev, in Winnipeg. Jackie is a passionate speaker on gender identity and how educators can support children's gender diversity in schools. To tell us more about this and her first published book, please join me in welcoming Jackie Swirsky.
Wow. Okay, can everybody hear me okay? Yes? Well, thanks down in the front. Well, thank you guys so much. I mean, what can I say? This is an amazing turnout, and we appreciate it so much. So thank you everybody for being here. What I wanted to do is I really just wanted to sort of first talk about why I did this book. And I dedicated the book to my 2 amazing kids. There they are, Zev and Jacob. And like Nigel had said, the main character in the book is a gender-creative child. So for those of you that don't know what that term means, what it means for us, Jacob is a boy. He was born a boy. He identifies as a boy, yet his gender expression is very feminine. So his clothing choices and his style and his mannerisms, his interests are all quite feminine. So that to me is what it means to be gender creative. And I started sort of thinking about gender creativity, I guess, when Jacob started school. So when he was in kindergarten, before he even went to kindergarten, I was scared. I was so scared. I had this really awesome, unique kid, and I was gonna let him out into the world, you know, without me, without the bubble that I can protect him in, and I was really hoping that the world would be kind to him. So what I did is I went and I spoke with Mrs. Morris from Brockport School, the principal, and the classroom teacher, and we said, hey, this is who we are, and this is the language that we use when it comes to gender, when it comes to acceptance. And the school has been nothing but phenomenal. So a big thank you to Brockport for being such a supportive, amazing environment. And you know, from then we started talking in that little sort of teacher's office there, and we expanded it. I started doing more talks to the school and to all of the staff to explain what it is to be gender creative. We started talking about it, and what surprised me was that the semantics that I use when it comes to stuff is just stuff and all that was kind of new semantics for a lot of people. And so that was one thing that surprised me a little bit. And it sort of just taught me about the things I need to do to create an environment of teaching people what it means to be accepting. The other thing that I've learned a lot is from Zev. So Zev is what I would call my gender stereotypical child. So what that means, he was born a boy, he identifies as a boy, and his gender expression is very masculine. And Zev, you would describe yourself as being very cool. Zev is my cool kid. And I find Zev the most interesting because Zev has been raised in our home. He knows nothing else other than the language that we use in our home, how stuff is just stuff, there's no boy stuff or girl stuff. And yet Zev thinks very much in the binary, that there's boy stuff and girl stuff. And so I find Zev super interesting because if Zev has known nothing else but the environment that we've created in our home and with our family, yet he still thinks very strongly in the binary, I keep thinking, well, what about other kids that are raised in gender stereotypical homes? What are they thinking? So, you know, from my experience in school and from my experience in my own family, those are the things that sort of brought me to think about the potential of writing this type of book. And to be quite honest, I never thought of myself as an author. Like, the idea that I would write a book, I kind of always joked about it. I kind of always said, oh yeah, one day I'll write a book and be on the circuit. And it was kind of a joke, and kind of interesting that it's now happening here. So the book came about in August. I wrote a poem, and I liked the poem that I wrote. I shared it with my family, and so then I had Jacob start by doing the illustrations, and enhanced by my sister-in-law, Jaimee. And so they started working on the illustrations. They were doing that sort of October, and then in November, I connected with a fantastic book designer, Kendra Jacob Swirsky, and from Jacob Design, she's wonderful, and she really helped me turn our product into the real book that you're gonna see today. So that's where our book came from, how it came about. And really the goal that I had when making this book was I really did want to sort of share the language of acceptance we use when it comes to gender. And I know my girlfriend always says it's kind of the pageant answer, so to speak, but to be honest, I really did want to make something that I could share with a larger group of people, not just the teachers in the school that I speak to, but to share this message of acceptance with a larger audience, because I really do want to make a difference in the world for my kids and all people, so that they know that people should be valued for just being them. So that's sort of where this came from, and I would like to share the book with you guys now. So here we go. Children should be loved and accepted for who they are, not for who we expect them to be. And we have 7 years later. I'm a boy. I express myself in a feminine way. This is my style. And it's interesting, we wrote this page, I wrote it after we made the poem because we wanted people to get it. I think a lot of people, even with the best of intentions, they see a picture like this and they still very much see a girl, even though we know it's a boy. So we're hoping that by adding this to the front of the book, people would sort of connect with this message and connect with this a little bit better, because it is sometimes for some people a harder concept to get. If you look different than some other peeps, if you have your own style by bounds and leaps, if you're one of a kind and don't go with the flow, then here are some things that I think you should know. It can feel hard, confusing, and strange not to fit in with the crowd, but don't change. There are no boy clothes or girl clothes. Clothes are just clothes. Feel confident with your style. Just strike a pose. Be proud of yourself. Keep your chin up high. It's awesome to be you. No need to be shy. And here's a trick that for sure can't be beat. Compliment other styles. And guess what's neat? This makes them feel good about what you said. And positive thoughts about you may dance in their head. You have the guy going, hey, I like your hat, it's really cool. Thanks. Yeah, wow, that guy's pretty cool. It's good to be special, brave and unique. There's not one thing that you need to tweak. When you feel happy from the inside out, your inner beauty will shine. Of that, there's no doubt. So to keep your spirit in perfect health, just be you. Just be yourself. And then we have follow your passion, it will be your fashion. Be yourself. And this came from the song, or the lyrics here have been turned into a song by my friend Grant Miai, and he's going to play that for you guys in a little bit here. So, sort of a prequel to the actual song. I'm really proud that in the back of the book, what we included is some discussion questions. so that hopefully families and educators can use this book in a really functional way in their classrooms, in their homes, to build a discussion and to start a discussion about gender and gender diversity. And so I'm hoping that by having these questions, it's really going to help especially elementary school kids to begin the discussion on diversity. And not only do I have the questions here, but I also have sort of some answers and some information so that people know some of the things that I talk about when it comes to acceptance and gender. So that's all in the back of the book. And then it's about the author and the illustrators. So there's the book. And now I'd like to invite up Jacob Swirsky, one of the illustrators of the book, to share a little bit about the illustrations.
So, hi everybody, thanks for coming. So, I'm one of the illustrators of Be Yourself, and so first I read the lyrics of the book, and then I started drawing. So, on there it has the original, so that's my original sketch. Then it has the line drawing, and then my coloring, and then the finished one. And then that went into the book.
So my question to you, Jacob, what's your favorite picture that you did for the book?
My favorite picture was probably the owl, because I really like owls. And yeah, I like owls.
All right, so now I'd like to invite Grant up to share with us the Be Yourself song.
Check. So I first just want to say it was a real honor to be a part of the book, and I think I wrote it in a matter of 20 minutes. After I was given the idea of it, and I've known Jacob since he was very little, and he used to come to our daycare so at work, so I've known this family for a long time. So it was really not a hard thing to do at all. And plus, she gave me all the words for it. If you look different from your other peeps, got you in style by bouncing leaves, and if you're one of a kind, don't go with the flow. Here are some things, well, I think you should know. Express yourself, have faith in yourself, and you'll never alter yourself. Follow your passion, it'll be your fashion. It takes courage to carry on. It can feel hard, confusing and strange, not to fit with the crowd, but you just don't change. Boy clothes, girl clothes, clothes are just clothes. If you're confident with your style, and strike a pose. Express yourself, have faith in yourself, and you'll never lose the beat. Follow your passion, it'll be your fashion. It's a reaching up high. It's awesome to be you, no need to be shy. Here's a trick that for sure can't be beat. Compliment other people's style, and guess what's neat? This makes them feel good about what you say. Positive thoughts from you, they dance in their heads. Express yourself, have faith in yourself, and you'll always find your way. Follow your passion, it'll be your fashion. Your heart will always say. It's good to be special, brave and unique. There's not one thing that you need to tweak. When you feel happy from the inside out, your inner beauty will shine, and that's no doubt. So keep your spirit in perfect health. Just be you, just be yourself. Express yourself, have faith in yourself, and remember you're never alone. Follow your passion, it'll be your fashion. There's always a hand to hold. So keep your spirit in perfect health. Just be you, just be yourself. So keep your spirit in perfect health. Just be you, just be yourself.
Thank you so much, Grant. Isn't he awesome? So I just wanted to open it up if anybody had any questions for us. Yes.
Can Jacob sign the book?
That is a fantastic question. Yes, he would be honored to sign the book, especially yours, Hannah.
I wanted to ask a second.
Yes.
Where did the kid learn to draw like that at such an early age? He's amazing.
So the question is, when did he learn to draw like that at such an early age? And you know what? Oh, there you go, from his teachers. We have a number of them here today. But no, Jacob's always been just a super creative kid, and yeah, he certainly doesn't get that from me. But yeah.
I know you've been speaking in different public arenas. I'm wondering, I know you've spoken in some schools, to some educators. Where else, or what are you trying to do with that? Do more of that?
Yeah, so thank you very much. So the question is that she knows I've been doing some speaking in schools and different arenas and wanting to know what my plans are for further speaking engagements. And really, my goal is to get this message out to as many people as possible. I think teaching educators in schools is a really big, important place to be, because we're the model, us as adults. Kids get it. Like, kids don't need this message, they get it. It's the adults in their lives that we need to do a better job modeling these kind of language of acceptance and these ideas that anybody should be valued. And so I've spoken at different conferences and in schools, and I'm hoping to do more of that. So whatever venue that people think would be an appropriate place for me to come and speak and share this message, talk about gender identity, gender diversity, that's where I'm hoping to be. So let me know. And the way you can let me know is I do have a website for the book, and I'll share that with you guys up here in a minute. So it's beyourselfbook.ca, and in the website I've got a whole section on, there's an educator section with the Manitoba curriculum and information about sort of lesson plans that teachers have submitted to give people ideas for how to use the book in the classroom, as well as the song, the Be Yourself song is there, resources, information about myself, how to contact me, what I do, information about the illustrations, everything you wanted to know about Be Yourself book is at the website. So please check it out, and if anybody is interested in contacting me, that's the best way to do it, and I've got a email through the website. Yes?
So I would imagine clearly there was a whole lot more writing that's behind the scene that you arrive at these very specific phrases that are, each one of them is incredibly meaningful. Just wonder if you could give some insight behind the other writing that's not there that is, but we know is inside you guys.
Oh, so she's asking about the other writing, so that when you come up with a book like that, there's often a lot of other writing that goes behind the book. And to be honest with this one, what you see is kind of what you get. Like I said, I'm not a writer. This is not what I always thought I was going to be doing. So really, I think in poem, I think in rhyme when I'm doing things. And so I really just jotted it down. I had family members be my editors. So there were a couple of words that might have been tweaked or changed with, you know, family helping me out. But kind of this is where it was. I didn't do too much extra, to be quite honest.
Hi, Jackie. Could you give us some examples of what you and probably some of the teachers here have used in classrooms to help foster acceptance? Like what specific things have you and they done with the kids?
So the question is, what specific things are used in classrooms to help foster this sort of language of acceptance? And one of the things that I think is really important is the language that we use. Like we're talking in the book. There's no boy clothes or girl clothes. Clothes are just clothes. There's no boy colors or girl colors. Colors are just colors. You know, you wear what makes you feel confident and good and happy. You play with things that are of interest to you, not because it's a boy thing or a girl thing. Making sure you're not dividing classrooms by boys versus girls and everything, having everything divided up, you know, numbered 1, 2 by birth dates, different ways like that, being creative instead of always dividing based on gender. Using the pronouns that the child would like to use is a really important one so that they feel honored and supported for who they are. You know, those are some of the things that I'm encouraging people to do, and I'm hoping more and more people will just be doing that. One question I get all the time is, people aren't sure, and if you're not sure, ask. It's completely okay. We get it. You know, it's okay to say, oh, I'm sorry, what pronoun should I use? Or what would you like to be called? And that's okay, and that just supports each person for who they want to be, and you're acknowledging that, and that's okay. Yes?
What are the biggest surprises you've seen in response to the book so far?
So the question is, what are the biggest surprises I've seen in response to the book? Honestly, my biggest surprise is the amount of support that, I mean, I know it, but to see it here today is overwhelming and fantastic. So I thank all of you, because it's you guys that are taking this message from the book, and if you can share it and live it and act it, that to me is my biggest gift. And I mean, just the little things that, you know, when Jacob saw the book actually on the shelf here, because we've been working on it for so long, and he's like, oh, look, can we buy it? I have a bunch of copies at home. You know, like all those little things, to have what you think of in your head and the things that you just think of as the mundane, everyday life that we live, to put it out there, which is kind of scary, I must say, and to have it come back at us with so much love and support is not that it's shocking, but it's surprising in a wonderful way. Yes?
Do you think that your story with Jacob differs a lot from kids that do identify as transgender?
So the question is, does our story differ a lot from kids that are transgender? And I think that our stories of acceptance. And acceptance, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter what your term is that you're referring to yourself as, whether you're transgender, whether you're gender fluid, gender creative, gender independent, you know, any term you want. The message I wanted to share is one of acceptance for being you. I want kids to feel proud for who they are, no matter who that is. And I want the world to not only be accepting, but be respectful and supportive and value people for just being them, no matter what. Well, feel free, please, if you have any other questions or anything else. We're going to be sitting at the table here. So I just, from our family to yours, I just want to give you guys the biggest thank you for being here, supporting us. And it means a lot.